Here we are going to learn how to create a React Native mobile application using our React Native skeleton. So we have a repository called React Native skeleton, which is published inside a wpoets account, GitHub account. So I will show you how to create a React Native mobile application using that skeleton. So let's first go to github.com, and let's search for wpoets. We will find some results. So from here we can go inside wpoets, or you can directly use this URL to get into the wpoets uh, GitHub account. So here let's search for React. So here we are. So we can see this React Native skeleton. This is a repository that I'm talking about. So this repository is a React Native source code, and we can use this source code to create any number of React Native mobile applications using WebView. So we will clone this repository using this URL. So just copy this. Now we will simply open our git bash over here, or you can open your terminal if you are using a Unix operating system. Now we will clone this. So as we can see, we have cloned this over here, right? So here we are. Now we can go inside this directory, and we can open this in Visual Studio Code. Here we are. So this is the React Native skeleton, and we can see there are some folders are there, and there are some files are also there. We can go inside each folders, and we can look into different files and what they are doing, and we will go through all those things, and we will get a fair understanding how it works, and how we can create mobile application using this repository. The first thing that we have to do is that we have to install all the dependencies. If you open this package.json file, you can see the dependencies over here. So we have to install all these dependencies. So for that, we can run this command npm install, or we can run yarn install. Either you can use npm as your package manager, or you can use yarn. Both of them are good, and I personally prefer yarn, and in this tutorial I will be using yarn instead of npm. So everything is similar between yarn and npm, so there will not be any problem if you are using npm as well. So here I am going to run this command yarn install. It will take some time to download all those dependencies. Let's wait. So we have successfully installed all those dependencies. If we look into this node modules, we can see all those dependencies. Now we will go through all those important files over here, and we will look into this skeleton deeply. So first thing, we will look into this package.json. Here we have scripts over here, we have dependencies, we have dev dependencies. So we have installed all those dependencies, and these dev dependencies is for the development environment. And the script, it means it's a kind of a shorthand to the actual command. For example, here we can see that React Native run Android. Actually, this is the actual command which we are using to run our React Native source code in a Android environment. But we can also run the same command like npm Android or yarn Android. For example, instead of run this command, which is React Native run Android, instead of this we can use yarn Android or npm Android. So both will do the same thing and it will execute this command. So that's what it meant by the scripts. So we have certain scripts we have added over here, so it will makes our life more easier. So the common scripts that we usually use is Android, iOS, generate debug APK, generate APK, yarn clean, yarn install APK. So basically I use yarn Android command for run the React Native application on the emulator or the connected device. I use yarn clean to clean the build which is being created by the compilation process, and I use yarn install APK to create the release APK. So instead of I usually don't use this generate APK to create release builds. I usually use install APK. So I connect my mobile phone and I run this command yarn install APK. So it will create all the release builds and it install into the mobile phone, and the same time I will get all the release APKs as well. It will be installed on my phone and I can test it out as well. So this is the process that I usually do, so we will come back to it later. Now we looked into the package of JSON, and let's look into the another important files like firebase.json. It's a kind of a configuration file for the Firebase. Branch.json, it's a configuration file for the branch. Now if you look into the app.js, here we write all our source codes over here, and everything starts from here. Sorry, I'm using the JS window over there, so because of that it's create all this, you know, errors. So we write all our codes over here. So we can say that this is a kind of a index.php to a React Native, but actually this is not the index.php file. Actual bootstrapping is starting from this index.js file. Okay, but we usually don't write any code over here because it's a kind of a wrapper, and everything start executing from app.js as a developer point of view. Not really, but so first, before going further, let me get rid of this ES lint. It's creating problem for me. JS lint as well. Now, so we have wrote all our codes over here. This is app.js, and the next thing is that our src folder. So here we have created our custom components, then assets, some styles we have wrote in this utils. Now we have other folders such as Android, AWXML exports, iOS. As you know, Android and iOS folder contains the codes which is for these environments such as Android and iOS. If you go inside the Android, you can see app, build, Gradle, and these files as well. So I will explain the files that we usually use and how we can modify those codes for our different needs. So here we first open the Android folder, and here we can see the Gradle.properties. So in this file we have mentioned our release key store file and its credentials. So currently, as you can see, there is no key store exist like foo release key dot key store. While you are developing an application, you will have to put your key store under this app directory, and you will be able to use that file name over here, and you can use the credentials over here to use your release key store. And the next thing is the build.gradle file. So this build.gradle file is a project level build.gradle file. It contains such configurations such as which Gradle version that we are using, and we have implemented the Crashlytics, so its versions. So these things are being mentioned inside the build.gradle. Now if you go inside the app level, you can also see the same build.gradle over there. So in this build.gradle, we mentioned the app level configurations such as important ones that I am going to tell you. The version code, while you are compiling the APK, you have to mention the version code, and the version code should be higher in number than the previous version code. For example, you have created a version 2.0.0. At that time, this is the version code, and whenever you are going to create another version 2.0.1, you will have to use a higher number of version code over here. So while I am using the version code, I use a standard. So first two digit is a year, 21 stands for 2021, 02 for the month, which is February in this case, 02, and 23 is the date, and the last two digits are the attempts that I have made to compile the APK in the same day, and the version name. And if you can see, the universal APK is there. So if you set the universal APK into true, it will create a universal APK as well while you are compiling. Also, it will create 4 other APKs for this CPU architecture. So totally there will be 5 APK if you use a universal APK. Like if you set true for this universal APK, then you will have 5 APKs. Otherwise, you will get 4 APKs for different CPU architecture. Now, if you look into this app folder, you can also see Google services.json file over here. So basically, we use Google services.json file for Firebase integration, you can simply download the Google services.json from your Firebase console and you can easily put it over here. Now if you look into the iOS folder, we can also see similar configurations over there, but it will be little bit different. So in case of iOS, you can see a pod file. So whenever you are installing packages, the pod files will be created. So there will be an entry in this file for those pod files. There will be app delegate files. You can think this app delegate files like your main activity.java files, similar to that. So this is the basic structure of the React Native skeleton that we are using over here. So by doing these things, you got the skeleton, but it's not ready yet, right? So you just only install the dependencies only. And the things which is remaining right now is that you have to change the package ID. Currently in the skeleton, the package ID is, if you go and look into the manifest file, you can see that we are using the package ID com.example.rn. This you have obviously you will have to change to create your own application. So I will tell you how to do this. For that, first thing that you will have to do is that you have to search inside Android folder for existing package ID. I have mentioned these kind of things, the steps such as how to change the package ID and everything in the readme.md file and the doc.md file. So feel free to look into these MD files to get a brief understanding about the React Native skeleton. And now we are going to continue with the process. So what we have to do is that first thing that we have to look into this Android folder and we have to search for the existing package ID. Our existing package ID is com.example.rn. So as you can see, we got the results here. So we have to simply replace this com.example.rn with our desired package name. So in this case, I can use com.myapp.super, something like this. Let me copy this into the clipboard. So this is what we are going to do, and we simply click the replace. So if you click the replace, or it will replace everywhere. So you can see there are 7 files, right? Bug file, build.gradle, Google services.json, React Native Flipper, Android manifest file, main activity.java, main application.java. Now if you click on this replace, it will replace everywhere, but keep this thing in mind. You don't want to replace it in Google services.json, because you will have to obviously get a new Google services.json from your Firebase console against your new package ID, which is com.myapp.super in this case. Now I will replace here, so it will get replaced everywhere. So we have successfully renamed the package ID, but it's not done yet, right? So things remaining right now is here. If you look into this app.json file, you can see there is a name is being used over here, right? And here we are using rn skeleton, and as you can see that this rn skeleton is a kind of a name, kind of an identifier which is used inside the Android folder as well. So we will have to replace this RN skeleton in package.json as well, because it's being used over here, in app.json as well, and we have to replace this with some other name inside Android folder as well. The first thing that we have to do is that we can search this RN skeleton in the Android folder for any references. So as you see, you can see that there are references, right? There are references in setting.gradle and main activity.java. It's not a reference actually, it's something, it's a different string actually. So as you can see in settings.gradle, we are using that RN skeleton, and main activity.java, we are also returning that RN skeleton from here. So basically we will have to replace this with some other name. So in my case, I will name it as like a superb app. I can also change this text. I superb app. Now I will use this name in my activity.java file, and I will use this in settings.gradle as well. So we have replaced those references. Now we will do the same with the app.json file. Sorry, we have already did it, right? And we will do it in package.json. So we are done with that. Okay. Now we will do certain things other than this. So we have configured our React Native skeleton with a new package ID, but we will have to change the application name as well, the name which will come in our menu, in our Android phones menu, right? So that we have to change it. For that, go into the src and main, in the resources, in the values, in the strings, you can see there is a string with the name app name. So here you can change that name into your desired app name. So I am calling this as my superb app. So it's totally up to you what kind of name that you have to use here. And as we have opened the strings.xml file, we can see the Facebook app ID over here and Facebook protocol, login protocol scheme. So basically we use these two to configure the Facebook SDK, and we will see it later. Now, as we have came into these resources, we can see the mipmap folders. Basically, it used for the IC launchers, the icons for our app. So we can configure those as well. So as you can see, there is a mipmap NADPI v26 file. We don't need actually this. So if you don't want to use this mipmap NADPI v26, you can simply delete it, but you will have to make some other deletions as well. So I will show you. If you open the mipmap NADPI file, there are some certain files are there. So basically I don't need this folder for this application, so we can simply remove this. And there are certain values is being used over here, for example IC launcher background. So we also don't need this as well, because this file is being used in that NADPI. So we are good to go here. And if you open the bitmap HDPI folder, you can see this much of files, but basically you don't need this. As a skeleton, I have kept all those things over here as a generic, but you don't need these. You can simply delete this foreground. You will only need the IC launcher round and IC launcher.png. You can do the same things for the rest of the files as well. we have successfully removed all those unnecessary files over here. So now we are good to go. So the first thing that we can do is that we can look into the changed files. So you can see we have made this much of changes over there. Cool. Yes, we have forgot one thing. So we have we have changed the package ID. Also we have to change some other things, like we have to rename certain folders as well. So if you go inside the app src debug Java, here you can see this React Native Flipper file comes inside the com example, and so it comes inside the folders which will be look like your package ID. So in our case, what was our package ID that we were used? com.myapp.superb, right? So we will simply rename this into my app superb. So we have made some changes inside the debug folder. Also, we will have to do it in the main inside Java folder as well. Cool. Now we have done with our changes. Now we can run our application. And Android. So it will run the application in the emulator because haven't connected any devices. So you can simply run yarn Android to run your application. Let's wait. So it will take some time to run the application in the emulator. It will take some time. It's dependent on your machine's resources. So let me hope it will complete in few minutes. So it's been 57% right now. It's taking a little bit time. See, my machine is not that much of a great. So my machine is a ThinkPad having 16 GB RAM over here, and it's an i5 processor as well. But still, it's not producing that much of that much of performance for this app development. Okay, in the meantime, we can look into some things such as what kind of things that we have did right now. So first thing that we have did is clone the repo. The next thing that we have did is that install node modules, then rename package id and component name. Actually this component name which we have replaced in app.json, so you can simply uh, mention like another package id and name and its references in a app.json file, you can say. Now what we have did, we have renamed the folders, right, inside the Java folder of both debug and main, right. We have changed the app name, right, in the strings.xml file. Now, right, strings.xml file, and we have changed the map files, right. changes in map, right? And some deletions, right? So these things that you have to memorize, and you will have to follow this, and in this way you will be able to create new applications. Okay, let's keep this for right now. Okay, it's not running yet. It will not take this much of time. If you're running this in a MacBook Pro, you will be able to see your app within a few minutes. So its build was successful. As you can see, the app is about to launch in the emulator. So our app is just got started. Here we are. So app ran successfully, and this is a web view over here. Whatever that you are seeing right now is a web view. It's successfully loaded the web view. Okay. So this will be the first video that in my list. So in this video we have covered how to clone the repo, and we have installed the node modules, rename the package id and the references of this app.json name, and rename the folders inside the java and debug and main ones. And we have changed the app name, the actual app name, the app name which comes over here, as you can see, my superb app. So if you go inside the app info, you can see that my superb app. And if you go in the advanced, you can see that the version that we are using here, so version 2.0.0. Okay, now so we have changed the app name, and we have made changes in the map files, and we have changed some deleted some unwanted icons and the one XML file. So these are the changes that you will have to make when you are going to clone this repo and build your custom application. In the next video, we will look into the app.js file, and we will configure the web view URL, how we can do that. So we will look into it in the next video. Thank you.